There you go. Hi. I'm going to do the thing John does. Are you ready? Dubs! It doesn't feel right. I'm sorry, Owen. It doesn't feel right. Welcome back to the 52 Reasons podcast. Very special episode. It's Owen, everybody. It's Owen, the guy who has his own segment. I was looking at stuff, baseball stuff. Talk real quick.
Talking real quick. Just
Okay,
to see
everything's
if this
good.
is
Everything's
working.
good. Everything's good. Never a doubt. Welcome back to the 52 Reasons podcast. And on today's very special episode, we got a lot going on. We got the Philly. Yeah. Chad just texted me. No calls.
Figured.
Where was I? Yes. Sorry. All over the place. So excited that you're here,
I was going to say. Take a breather.
So in today's episode, we got Owen here. We're going to be going over the Eagles beatdown of the Steelers because the score dictates differently. We then will, we're going to call my beautiful wife to rank some stuff. We're going to call somebody else to name a random player because obviously Owen is right here. We also have a very, very special interview with one of my dearest, oldest friends, my resident Steelers fan, Billy. I had a great interview with him. I sat down and talked to him about the Steelers, about the Eagles and Steelers game, projecting forward and everything like that. So a lot of good stuff to come into. And Owen, you are doubling down and doing both the quote and the draft class. And I am now realizing right now that I forgot to get you a draft class, but I will make sure
you'll figure it out on the fly.
Figure it out, buddy. So Owen, how are you?
I'm good, Jared. I'm excited to be here. Got big shoes to fill, not literally, but figuratively. So,
yeah, Johnny, little ass boy.
He said it, not me.
Ooh, what the hell's that little idiot gonna do? I could say whatever I want.
Yeah, we got a couple thousand miles between us right now. Yeah.
I figured it'd be fitting if I sat here because I'm taking over the John role and you were taking over the comedic relief role. But this episode is gonna be a lot of fun.
I'm excited. Looking forward to it. Appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. So now the feline fiend himself is in now. Looks like a cat, doesn't he? You know what I might do on the thumbnail? I might have like your face like morphed with a cat.
Or something.
Might do it. But anyway, Eagles win. 27-13.
So that's what y'all wanted to see?
You know, he's got, what did that one guy say on ESPN? He has pretty privilege.
Yeah, I think it's Dominic Foxworth. He can just.
I don't care.
He can F off.
Wait, that's 10 victories in a row. Is that good?
It's not bad.
Okay.
I know that for a fact.
But you know what? Ultimately, if it doesn't end in one of these, who fucking cares?
It's a very good point.
Well, let's get into it, buddy.
Very good point. All right.
Let me text Chad real quick. Okay, so the Eagles 27, the Steelers 13. Kind of a beatdown.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to start on offense or defense?
Let's start with the offense.
Start with the offense.
Probably got that written first.
So, my first kind of thing that I want to talk about is the passing game. You know, obviously going into this week, the big hullabaloo was that Jalen Hurts could not pass the ball. And what did he do, Owen?
He passed the shit out of that ball.
Yeah, how many yards did he go for, bud?
What was it? 200 and something?
290.
290, yeah.
Two tutties.
Two tutties?
And a rushing
That's
touchdown.
What counts. And the rushing touchdown. So, yeah, I'd say he passes the ball pretty well, Jared.
Yeah, it's kind of like Jalen said. Is that what you wanted to see? Like, I was so tired of just the entirety of everybody being like, he can't throw the ball, he can't do this, he can't do that, he can't do this, he can't do that. And then he just went out and did it, and now it's like, well, Saquon didn't get enough touches. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, can he do anything right?
Yeah, no one's ever pleased around here with anything. And did people just forget about Jalen Hurts' history the last couple of years? Mm-hmm. He can throw the ball.
Yes, he can.
It's nothing that he's opposed to doing. he can beat you both ways. So why were people worried, like shaking in their boots that he wasn't able to throw the ball because of one game against the Carolina Panthers?
Well, it was an accumulation of that one game, which, no, he did not look great, but he still won the game, which ultimately, I don't care how my quarterback looks.
Mhm.
If it ends in a win, I don't care. So, you want to know what's interesting? So, back, talk about another NFC team, the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff had how many interceptions in one of the games?
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco.
Had 5 interceptions. How much did you hear about that during the week?
Not
a little
whole
bit.
lot.
You want to know why? Because they won the game. So why is it okay for him, but Jalen doesn't have a great game passing? They still win the game, and all of a sudden he is the worst quarterback in the NFL.
Did he throw 5 interceptions in that game?
No, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check my notes here. Oh, he has 5 interceptions all season.
All season.
But he was kind of slinging it.
He looked like prime Jalen. This was one of his best games this season, for sure. Even though it wasn't as many total touchdowns as he's had sometimes, but two throwing touchdowns, rushing, controlled the possession, which is a big thing.
Yeah, the whole thing with this Eagles team is they beat the Steelers at their own game. Now the Steelers were the number 1 team in the NFL about time of possession, and the Eagles just bullied the fuck out of them.
Yeah,
pretty much the entire game. Outside, they needed that DeJean turnover to really even be anywhere.
Get something,
and we'll get to DeJean and that whole thing. Which why the hell is he still on punt returns? But before we do that, we got to talk about this because obviously John and I's thing is we're matching jerseys. You want to stand up and show people the back of the jersey?
Got to address the elephant in the room.
Turn around. Yep. There you go.
Boom.
That is DeMarco Murray, everybody. I'm wearing Devontae because he had a great game.
And I'm wearing a free jersey that was given to me out of the trunk of some guy in Trenton, New Jersey. So...
Shout out to that guy in Trenton, New Jersey. But kind of looking at the offense more, I mean, Jake Elliott looked a hell of a lot better.
Yep.
He looked comfortable.
Yep.
Hit a 49er. Hit a 49-yard field goal. It didn't count because they got the penalty, which was good. It's not like they iced him or anything, but I'm not worried about Jake Elliott.
No. And then the fact that after he nailed that 49-yarder, a couple plays later,
did it again
with a little further, or not
closer.
As far, but I'm not worried about him. Never was. There's a reason why he's still on the team.
And John's like, oh, you got teach him.
Hey, John, I'd like to see you try and kick a 20-yard field goal.
Yeah, John, you little bitch. He's gonna watch that and be like, he's gonna beat me up. He's gonna hit me in the nuts or something. Don't worry, I didn't forget. No, it didn't.
Yep. All right. What else you got on the offense?
Jalen did have a turnover, but I don't really blame Jalen as much. I really think that was just a fantastic play by TJ Watt. He is so good at football. He is so good at football. It's stupid.
They mentioned it on the broadcast when Lane Johnson false start by a good second or two. Yeah. He's worried about TJ Watt coming off of that side because he is that much of a game breaker.
Let's see. We had AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, both the touchdowns, which they are both. What is that word? What was that word? Oh, wide receivers, and we were told that Jalen couldn't pass the ball, and then he threw for. They both had over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Oh, fantasy update! I beat the shit out of John, 3-0. Moving on to the semifinals against Chad. Just had to throw that in there.
I love it.
Because John was like, is that? Okay, it is on the right. I think so. Anyway, I was checking some stuff. Yeah, John, I beat you 3-0, baby. 3-0 this year. Any Hoosers.
Inject that into your blood.
Yeah.
What I liked about
excuse me.
Yeah, absolutely. What I liked about AJ and Devontae both catching ball, they got involved early.
Yes, because that just opened up the entirety of
the offense and shut all the critics up right out
immediately.
Said, "Hey, this is what you want to see. we'll give you what you want to see, and we're going to go down the field in what, 6, 7 plays, was it?
And that was,
and we're going to punch in a touchdown.
And that was in the first quarter.
Yep.
And we've not seen this 2024 Eagles team do that.
Nope.
And it was such a, if their offense is moving like that and going like that, and I said this to you, and this is going to be the clip that gets posted to TikTok, because I told you this earlier.
Yeah. Buckle up, folks.
The Philadelphia Eagles are, without a doubt, the best team in the NFL. They have one of the best offenses. They have the best defense. Special teams, fine. I think they are the most well-rounded team in the league. And I'm thinking they're going to win the Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl or bust. And this guy has the chance to do something really funny. We'll cut around to you, buddy. Don't worry. I think they're the best team in the league, man.
I don't disagree with you at all. When you look at it from top to bottom, like, the defense is playing better than any other defense right now.
They're smothering teams.
Their offense, they're firing on all cylinders. Now, especially after they shut up the critics, we can throw the ball, we can rush the ball, we can hold the ball, and there's 7 minutes left in a game. I'm confident, like you said today, that this offense is going to hold the ball for the rest of the game, at least until the last minute, 40 seconds, something like that.
So to look at that fourth quarter, now in the second half, the Steelers got the ball twice. I'm going to repeat that. In the second half of the football game, the Steelers got the ball twice.
30 minutes of football.
30 minutes of football. They got the ball 2 times. And obviously it was controversial, and Billy and I kind of talk about it a little bit in our interview. Mike Tomlin deciding to punt on 4th and 7. You're down 2 scores. You have 10 minutes left, and they never got the ball back. I don't think I've seen better clock managers than Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. The clutchness, the ability to, it just felt like with those 10 minutes, like and it wasn't like it was 2nd and 3 and then they would run it. It was like 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11, and Smitty had the good first down.
Which I was going to say, speaking of but speaking of third downs with conversions, big plays.
Big play, Slay.
Kenny
Gainwell, holy shit. I got to say, we'll get to Kenny Gainwell.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of my reasons. We'll get to Kenny Gainwell.
Okay.
But it was just like, holy shit, like, I never doubted them.
There's no like worry.
No.
They seem relaxed. They've been in this situation before. They're confident. Their awareness is something. Like, their situational awareness between Jalen and Sirianni.
I think it's and honestly, like, the Eagles are nothing without Saquon. Saquon had under 60 yards in this game.
Yeah.
Saquon did not have a good game, and despite which we knew he was not going to. The Steelers have the best rushing defense in the NFL. Despite that, I mean, he still had a couple big runs.
Yeah.
I mean, Kenny Gainwell, holy shit, man.
That guy.
He stepped up. I mean, Saquon was sidelined for a little bit. He had that hit by who hit him? Was it Fitzpatrick that hit him?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Fitzpatrick hit him. So Saquon was out for a little bit. Kenny Gainwell stepped in, absolutely threw a guy out of his shoes. And it's just like, this is what this team is about, is the next man up. The next guy is going to come through. And that just you just got to give credit to Sirianni, because, I mean, myself included, John included, and I'm sure even you were like, get him the hell out of here. What the hell is he doing?
Yeah.
And his ability to rally everybody, be like, look, guys, this is what we got to do. It's awesome.
He's a motivator.
He is.
Like he gets the best out of, he gets the most out of guys to get them going. Who put that there?
You're an idiot.
All right. Well,
but so we had a couple injuries on the offensive line. We had Dickerson out. It seems like he's fine. I haven't really heard anything too long term.
Nothing crazy.
Lane Johnson was out for a play, and I shit myself.
He didn't want to be out.
No,
he didn't want to be
on
out
the sideline. they were going like this to him to go over to the tent, and he's like I'm fine. Like I think he just got like rolled up on, but then you had Tyler Steen in, and it was almost the entire second half that Tyler Steen was in there.
Yeah, he played,
and you didn't notice at all.
Like
I literally didn't notice Tyler Steen was in until the broadcast said Tyler Steen is in.
Yep,
that's just stout you.
Him, and then when Johnson went out, another Johnson filled in.
Fred,
which
I'm shocked that they did not throw like Calcaterra to be an extra blocker, because you want to know who he was going up against?
It's the
TJ Watt. Holy shit. We did have the TJ Watt injury. And again, that's something Billy and I discussed in our interview. So I don't think it's anything too severe. Like, look, yes, we are Eagles fans, but at the end of the day, we are football fans. And TJ Watt is good for the sport. And him being out would fucking suck.
That would be horrible. He is the best defensive player.
He is so good
in the league, by far. Just the way he changes the game.
And look, he's going up against Lane Johnson, who is a Hall of Famer. He's the best right tackle in football. And he kind of bullied him a little bit, but then, I think it was such an even battle.
He got his TJ got his shots. He missed the one where
how Jalen held on to that ball.
God, that was crazy.
That was insane.
He got his shots. He also beat Lane a couple. He beat Lane a couple times. Lane bullied him a couple times. So
it was just two fantastic players. Just
what you want to see,
going at it.
Exactly.
Do you have anything else on offense?
On offense, no, not really. I do just love getting everybody involved early. Like we said, just first drive, spreading the ball around. Only took 6 or 7 plays. We're down the field, punch it in. Boom. And first quarter, it was rare that we score.
It was just so surgical. Like that first quarter, man, it was surgical.
They held them on defense. We'll get into the defense, but the defense held them to
3 yards in the first quarter.
It's crazy.
It was just like that first drive on offense. The first quarter, really, it was so precise and surgical. Jalen getting the ball out quick. Now, Jalen in the second quarter seemed like he reverted back a little bit. He was holding on to the ball too long, waiting for plays to develop instead of just check down. And obviously he corrected that in the third quarter and the fourth quarter on. But that's going to happen. You're gonna see if he sees something, and ultimately if he does great, and if not, it's fine. I'm making sure I'm not missing anything. No, all right. Moving on. Defense. What do you got? Talk to me.
Vic Fangio is the coach of the year.
Yeah, he's pretty good at what he does.
He has players playing out of their mind right now. I was showing you some statistics earlier.
Zach forgot his notebook.
I forgot my notebook, but I think I got these all in the cabeza. Zach Bond right now is at 134 total tackles. All of last year, he had 30.
Is that good?
I think that's pretty good. Okay. I think that's a pretty good increase.
Cool.
Who is it? Nolan Smith, right there.
Yep.
Next to him. I think he's at 113 roughly total tackles, and he was also at 30 last year.
So you're telling me that when you have a competent defensive coordinator, that your defense will be good.
That you utilize your players' strengths and put them in spots to succeed. Yeah, they'll be good.
And so you're telling me when you have Nolan Smith and Nakobe Dean lined up as linebackers all the way back, that's not good.
It's not the best.
Man, I really thought Matt Patricia, Super Bowl champ. I thought he knew what he was doing.
Not the best. Had a shitty beard. We should have known. So bad. Shitty beard and a pencil. Who uses a pencil?
That fucking idiot. Anyway, continue.
But he's got them playing out of their gourds right now. Also, not to mention Josh Sweat on the line. He's at 8 sacks this year. I think last year he had
5,
4,
I think so,
something like that.
5, yeah.
So he's playing out of his mind too. Nolan Smith,
holy
5.5 sacks this year. He had 1 all of last year.
Nolan Smith. This is his breakout year that we've been waiting for. Like those Georgia guys, -1. And I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. Jalen Carter, Nakobe Dean, Nakobe Dean was Georgia. those guys are finally stepping up and coming into their own and being those guys that we thought they were drafting. And it's awesome, man. Like, ever since I bullied the shit out of Nakobe Dean, he has been fucking
because
awesome.
you bully him. You would bully him.
I did. There's several videos. Go back.
No.
I was wrong.
No.
Bullying works, kids. Never forget. But do you want to hear a very funny statistic about the Philadelphia Eagles defense? So who was the starting nickel at the beginning of the year?
That's a great question.
Mm-hmm. Actually, there is an Eagle that has that number currently because it is the player I'm referring to. He is roommates with Dallas Goedert. God fucking
yeah.
Is this how John feels?
That
would be Avonte Maddox.
Oh.
And now, what did the Eagles do in the bye week to Avonte Maddox? Said, get the fuck out of here. White Lightning's coming in there. The Eagles are 10-0. 10-0 with Cooper DeJean.
He's not a safety.
No, he's just a corner. He'll lock up your number one. Some would say, like, he's exciting, wouldn't you say?
I would double down on that and say he is definitely exciting.
He's exciting. Him and Reed, something about them. Anyway.
Lightning.
I'll never forget that Saints game. When Reed got that interception to, like, seal the game, I literally screamed, White Lightning!
It's what he is, dude. He's electricity.
Every Reed Blankenship interception is the exact same.
You
know what? I'll take it, though.
Better than it going to the other team.
Mm-hmm. So, Cooper DeJean, speaking of, look, man, I love him. I really do. Just fair catch it.
Yeah.
You just fair catch it. Britton Covey can't stay healthy this year. Or throw Kenny Gainwell.
I was just going to say, why
is Kenny Gainwell not out there? Coop, I love you, bud, but just fair catch it. We cannot afford you getting hurt on a special teams play. I will be, Owen, not a happy boy.
Please.
Not a happy boy.
Just fair catch.
Just do this. That's it. And then
it's not worth the extra 1.5 yards, 2 yards.
Yeah, no,
it's not. That you might get.
Nope. And so that was bad, and that's kind of the reason the Steelers were kind of in the game in the beginning, is because they had that turnover almost immediately. But that's just a testament to the Eagles' defense. Like, they were on, like, what, the 5, and they still held them to a field goal?
Yep. They locked them down.
And now, I mean, on the flip side of that, the Steelers' red zone offense is one of the worst in the NFL.
Yeah, they're not.
Bad.
Not great.
Bad.
Granted, they are missing their true fighter in George Pickens.
It's funny you say that, because that was going to be my next point. Okay. There was a brawl against, it was Darius Slay and Washington, right?
Yeah.
Sure, I think Billy and I talked about the players specifically, but of course, George Pickens might be one of the funniest players in the NFL.
One of my favorite non-Eagles.
Yes, because
absolutely.
I want to see if they do. Guy's an animal, but he was not in the game, obviously, and that kind of helped the Eagles on defense and hindered the Steelers. But you had the fight, and the biggest difference from why I think this team is legit outside of everything, because during the entire run here, I think a lot of Eagles fans were worried that this is going to turn into another collapse. Now, the big key difference is when Slay got pushed back, every single player on that defense was ready to fucking rip his head off. And we didn't see that last year. We had no fight.
I'm glad you say that, Jared, because that's another point I wanted to bring up about the defense. This year, they swarm to the ball. Mm-hmm. Every time a ball carrier is there, there's multiple bodies on there. Exactly. As quickly as they can get there, unless Cooper DeJean is absolutely murdering Derrick Henry. Then there's multiple guys on. But that wasn't there in the last year. Mm-hmm. They were more passive. They were not an attack the ball. They didn't come together like that. So when you have 4 guys tackling one body and you're all getting hyped up for it, that's the kind of camaraderie and team that you want, because when you see your guy getting pushed around a little bit, you're all right there. You're all involved in the fight.
And I mean, you had Quignon in there, and one bullshit call, the fact that there was not offsetting penalties there and it was all in the Steelers, that was horseshit.
Yeah,
like Quignon fucking came in there and threw a haymaker.
Yeah, we're reasonable with that. We understand.
Yes. Listen, again, I'm a football fan first, but you just, I mean, dude, this team is just, they're all in it for each other, and I think it also helps that they've been through everything. They've lost the Super Bowl. They collapsed last year. Like, they know what winning culture is, and Nick Sirianni brings that. Despite what everybody says, Nick Sirianni is a fucking great head coach.
His record will attest to that.
I'm not even talking about record, man. Like, he is just a culture guy. Like, he is for his guys. He will tell you he is a fiery guy. Go.
10-0, Baldiani era.
We are. So that means, what if I just pulled out of Clippers and just shaved my head?
I think a lot of people watching this right now would be very happy.
I
think a lot of people would be.
But yeah, there was the fight and everybody was there. Nolan Smith had a sack. Defense was kind of getting cooked a little bit. And Jalen Carter, being a hothead, nearly killed them.
Yeah.
Nearly did. Fortunately, it was after the play, so it didn't ended up killing them. But what are your thoughts on the defense as a whole?
I love it. Like I said, they swarm the ball. They're all playing to their strengths. Zach Bond also is
blank check.
Whatever he wants,
give it to him.
I'm giving it to him. He can sleep in my apartment. It's not great, but Zach, this is an open invitation if you need a place to stay.
Shout out to Zach.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bond.
But the whole team is playing. It helps when you got two rookies that are phenomenal on the back end there.
Quignon and Cooper.
Yeah, and Cooper. So this is one of the best Eagles defenses, if not the best I've seen in recent memory, since maybe Super Bowl. And then
I think the 22 team, that defense wasn't great.
Oh, no, the Super Bowl win.
The 2017 team.
Yeah.
Yes, that defense was incredible.
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking
this is the best defense we've seen since that. Yeah. Yes, they made it to the Super Bowl in 22, but that defense was not as physical. They were in that fucking gum cock-sucking mother flying sack of shit. Who am I referring to?
Sorry, James.
No, it's Jonathan Gannon.
Oh, I thought you were talking about James Bradbury.
No, if anything, he's the MVP because the Eagles just said, just be injured.
He's doing great this year.
Yeah, he's just doing phenomenal. Shove him in the closet. Here, we'll pay you. Okay. Shout out to James Bradbury, man.
He's taking it like a champ. I haven't heard him say it. I haven't heard a peep.
He got injured in preseason, and then they're just like, James, you know what? We're just going to keep you on IR, and you can just ride out the season.
I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with it. So, overall, I got grades. What would you give the offense
of this past
game?
27 points is pretty good. I could clean it up in a couple areas. Some of the turnovers. Granted, it was TJ Watt that we were saying.
TG Watt.
TG. I'd give it a solid A.
I give it an A-.
Yeah,
like you said, there was a couple things. The turnovers were a little scary and some special team stuff, but overall, I think the offense played extremely well. Shut everybody the fuck up and burned 10 minutes off the clock to end the game and ice it. So that's pretty good. I was really hoping that they would score another touchdown and we would see Kenny Pickett revenge game. I was really hoping for that.
That would have been fun.
A Kenny Pickett revenge game, but fortunately we didn't. Defense, there's only one grade for the defense.
It's an A++.
It's an A fucking plus, man.
That's an A++.
They were murdering, they were burying the Steelers team. Russ had no chance outside of that one weird flea flicker. Even then, he was nearly sacked.
Yeah. And that was they threw it to Calvin Austin, who was being guarded by Zach Bond, who was not even
in coverage,
who was not even facing, had no shot at it.
Yeah. So they were burying him. Like Najee Harris couldn't get anything going, fumbled, which Eagles turned into points. It was just overall, man, like the defense, man, it's just buzzing. Now, reasons. Go.
I'm excited. Reason why they won or lost first?
Reason why they won.
Why they won? I got to say because of the passing game. They got AJ involved early and got him early and often is a big thing. They got him and Devontae going. That's what I got.
Okay, so my reason win, Kenny Gainwell. So, like I mentioned earlier, Saquon was banged up a little bit, and Kenny Gainwell had a hell of a game. I feel like he got a lot of big runs, big first downs. Like, you got to give him his flowers because, like, yes, we know Saquon is fucking amazing and unbelievable, but it also comes down to who's going to be your back two in case something like what happened on Sunday happens, and Kenny Gainwell stepped up and had a fantastic game.
Whoop!
Oh, dude, bullied the shit out of him.
Yeah, that was...
Bullied the shit out of him on that spin move.
He's
Saquon who? Saquon Leap who? I think Jalen also made some people miss.
Yeah.
He was getting shifty in that weird, like, shovel pass. I so thought that was getting picked.
But that's from our perspective watching. Mm-hmm. He's got to see something different from his, looks way different for him.
I don't know. I'm stupid. Reason loss.
Why they could have lost?
Yeah.
Najee Harris. If he keeps his eye on the ball,
and who knows what happened,
and catches that pitch that was perfectly right in his breadbasket.
He was looking up, and he should have been.
Yep. If he catches that, that's a game-tying drive that they're potentially going for. Even if he catches that and doesn't get yards, they're within field goal range with Chris Boswell.
Yeah, and then it's a 17-16 game.
It's a close game at that point. So I think that would be my reason why they could have if he was,
So mine was Jalen Carter, and it was for that one specific play where he hit the guy. Could have been the offense is right back on the field for the Patriots, for the Steelers.
We just hate them.
Yeah, we do. Wait, let me shit up there. Dougie.
It's Doug.
It's Dougie. I also love how we still have the table leg. Don't touch it. Do not. Don't ever do that again. I'm out. It's got fucking out of here. But Jalen Carter hits the guy, and that was a 15-yard penalty. Fortunately, it was after the play was already done, so it didn't really matter. But that could have been, again, potentially, like, you're right there. You're probably at the 10 at that point.
Yep.
Who knows what happens? So that is a reason why they could have lost. Now we're going to transition to two things, Owen. Number one, please enjoy this lovely video that our main co-host, John, sent in.
Yo! Dubs! I mean, what else could we say? Just like Jalen said, this is not what everybody wanted. Going to keep this short, going to keep this sweet, because obviously, I got time for Donald Duck, Mickey, and Minnie here. And I know Owen's got this. So, yeah, I mean, what else could we ask for? Jalen played a great game. Devontae played a great game. And, of course, AJ and Jalen, they don't hate each other because AJ, had another great game. Not Saquon's best game, but you know what? This is what we needed to see. We need to see the passing game come alive. Even with Saquon being stopped, we still were able to beat a good Steelers team. Not a great Steelers team. But here we are, now 12-2, one game from the Lions. So right on their asses. One more loss, and we win out. We're going to leapfrog them. So let's just keep the momentum, keep winning day by day by day. And Steelers, fuck you. Especially for that brawl outside of the game. What the hell's wrong with you? Anyway, 12-2. What else could we say? Go Birds. And
Now, that was a lovely video from Mr. John.
Love John.
Love John.
Can't wait to see him.
Stupid tank top. What a freaking idiot. But overall, what was your thoughts on the game just as a whole and where the Eagles are kind of are as a whole unit?
As a unit, I'm more confident than I've been in a long time. I think that they are we've talked about this before. I think they are the best team in football. There are some things I worry about a little bit, but nothing that's glaring, nothing like the mainstream media is going to be complaining about, because what could they complain about right now?
He's too pretty.
Yeah,
that's literally
what they're complaining about. If
Jalen Hurts is too good looking, guys.
If having a good looking quarterback is a crime, then
we're going to jail,
lock
baby.
us up and throw away the key.
Going to jail. He is so handsome.
He's a good looking dude.
He's a good looking,
especially with the Kangol. That's a good hat.
Anyway,
Yeah.
No pun, cat pun intended.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do come playoff time.
Yeah.
So
and
we don't see
we'll get into playoff talk. Don't you worry. But now we are going to transition to my interview with Billy. It was a great conversation that we had going into the Steelers, the Eagles, kind of an overview of that game. So please enjoy. All right. We now take a break from Owen and I probably arguing about something stupid. We welcome on a very, very, very special guest. As you can tell by his sweatshirt, it is our resident Steelers fan. It's Billy, everybody. Say hi to Billy. Billy, how the hell are you, bud?
I'm good. I went to the game. It was interesting. Got heckled way too much, but it was very expected. Everybody was super nice. I just enjoyed being there. I do love to support the Eagles, but the number one team has to be the Steelers. Yeah, I don't know. How you doing, Jared?
I'm doing great, buddy. I'm doing great. I'm feeling great about my football team, specifically this guy, despite the Steelers keeping him in check. I think he was over or under 60 yards in this game. But, overall, we're feeling great. Now, obviously, the Steelers are kind of having a season that not a lot of people expected, myself included, with you trade for Justin Fields, you bring in Russell Wilson. Kind of take me through your thought process when you're looking at a season like this, kind of an unexpected season.
Dude, man, I fully thought coming into this season we would have like 5 wins. You never know with Mike Tomlin, never losing season, that type of thing. Always a mid team. That's just how it's been recently. But it's always been about quarterback play. I always knew the capabilities of the Steelers, and I knew if we stayed healthy, we're gonna be able to compete. And you saw that all season. This is the 1 year and maybe 6 years where we have been healthy. Last year, you saw it especially. We were taking people from practice squads to fill our starting middle linebacker position. And it was detrimental to our defense, and we got exposed, and that's why we couldn't compete in the playoffs. So this year, I fully had the feeling, knowing football, knowing how it's been, our team, if we get hurt, we are going to struggle. With Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, I didn't know how we were going to play it. I also didn't think we were going to be creative in any way. We are not a creative football team. We run the football on our first 2 plays, and then we pass it on 3rd down. It's always been like that. And with the struggling run game, we brought in these 2 quarterbacks. And I loved the signing of Justin Fields. I love the mobility of him. I loved how he's already been in the league a little bit, and he was on a terrible team. So you never fully saw his capabilities. And I liked bringing in the veteran presence of Russell Wilson. He's been around the league. A lot of people love to play with him from what you've heard. You did hear some bad things coming out of Denver from Denver, but it seems like that was never a problem when he got to Pittsburgh. And I think it's all coming around the culture of Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin brings the "we want to win" attitude. We're going to do whatever we can to win. Those days that other teams take breaks before game day, we're not going to do that. And we're going to drive you to the edge to compete at the best of your ability. So having 10 wins and now clinching a playoff berth after this weekend with the 2 losses from, I believe, the Colts and Miami.
Yes. Yes.
It's just nice to know we're in the playoffs. And we are going to be able to compete. So I was just evaluating now, looking at this game between the Eagles as, hey, what can we do? How can we compete? Will we have a chance in the playoffs to not get blown out like past years?
And now, I mean, kind of transitioning into that, like, how do you feel coming out of that game? Because obviously the Eagles are call me biased, but bias aside, I think they are the most well-rounded, best football team in the entire National Football League. So, for the most part, the first half, you guys were kind of in it. You came coming back in the second quarter, and then the Eagles just kind of bullied you in the second half. But do you view this as the better team won, or are you kind of hitting the panic button a little bit when it comes to this season?
So I wouldn't say I'm going to hit the panic button. I totally agree with you. I think the Eagles have by far one of the most well-rounded teams next to the Lions. And with the Lions just getting an injury with David Montgomery, you don't know how that's going to play out.
It's good for my fantasy team. I have Jahmyr Gibbs.
Well, that's fantastic for you. We love to hear that. But, I don't think it's panic button time at this point. The main reason is there was one point in time where the game got away from us. You knew it got away at the beginning. The Steelers have been known, especially this year, second quarter, we put it on. And that's what we did. Our defense came together. Our special teams made plays. We were able to put up some points, keep it within a one-score game. When we came out of half, we were down 4. We held the Eagles to a field goal, leading it to 7. And then we were down to like the 30-yard line, and it was a mistake that costed it. I think the thing with the Steelers is I'm not going to panic with the teams we may have to play down the road because we can compete. But if we hurt ourselves, we will never succeed. Yeah. And that's what happened. When we gave that ball up at the 30-yard line and the Eagles marched and they scored, making it a 2-score game, what were we going to do? Our offense is filled with wide receiver 3s right now. George Pickens is hurt, and George Pickens is going to open up that defense a little bit. Our run game couldn't get because we couldn't throw many deep shots. So I'm not drastically worried. And we'll get into it, with the injuries that the Eagles or maybe the Eagles have going on right now. Yeah. I don't know too much, but I've heard there's been injuries.
Yeah.
Steelers, especially for this game, there were some crucial injuries that definitely limited our play style that defines the Steelers. But I wouldn't say I'm panicking.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was a good, this entire season for the Eagles has kind of been like, you have the slow start with the 2-2, and then you just rip off, and it's just been, you've never beaten, never won in Cincinnati. They beat Joe Burrow. They beat Lamar. They beat, the Steelers, and it's just been a lot of measuring stick games. But looking at this game in particular, one thing that had to happen when the Steelers came into town was going to be a fight. And it just stinks that the person on the Steelers who fights the most was hurt. And I'm so upset that we didn't get to see George Pickens just throwing hands at anybody on the Eagles.
Well, hey, I was going to say this right off the bat, first of all. George Pickens choke slamming Darius Slay would have probably highlighted I think both so Eagles and Steelers fans, because we just would have loved it. Yeah. And we all know George Pickens would have probably done it.
Yeah.
That fight, being in the stadium, I was incredibly high up. It was on the opposite side. I couldn't tell what was going on, but there was a video that got posted. And it was like a perfect angle. And I can't believe the call.
Yeah, that was egregious. Like I
thought it was
should have been offsetting penalties. Like there was no reason it should have been both on the Steelers.
Well, when you look at it, first of all, Darnell Washington, I think everybody can appreciate how he blocked a guy out of the end zone, like in the blind side when he threw him over the back wall. That's what Darnell Washington did. So I totally understand you calling a penalty. I don't know why he did that.
Yeah.
But it was fun. But when he got to the wall and Darius Slay's getting babied, he socks him in the face. Mm-hmm. And so the ref couldn't see it initially because it was a right hook. The ref was on the left side. You couldn't see that initially. And then everybody starts running in. Little Calvin Austin, who's like 5'6", a toddler in the game. I didn't think anybody could be smaller than Devontae Smith. Well, it's Calvin Austin. He runs in, and the dog himself, who's been playing out of his mind, Quentin Mitchell,
yeah,
socks him square in the mask. And then the call comes out with 2 penalties on the Steelers, and I'm like, oh, I guess we did something. Great, whatever. This is fine. But then you see that video and you're like, I can't believe at least like with all the camera angles and everything, there wasn't one that showed something like that. And and that's just classic Steelers Eagles football.
Yeah, because there's one thing that Mike Tomlin's team will always be, and it's physical. Like they will wear you down, beat the shit out of you. And one of those guys was bullying Jalen Hurts all day, and that was TJ Watt. He had that injury at the end of the game there. Where are you kind of at when it pertains to that? Because I don't think we've gotten an update on that, have we?
TJ Watt broke news after the game. It was interviewed. He went into the back, got x-rays. Everything came out negative. He just rolled his ankle.
Okay,
when
good.
I tell you, I started tearing up a little, and some Eagles fans next to me felt bad for me. That was the case.
Yeah.
And you realize that as a fan, and you don't want to believe that one player will have that much of an impact. But I believe there was a stat out there that when TJ Watt missed games, we're 1 for 10. That shouldn't be the case, but it is. And I'm just
something with the Eagles without Lane Johnson. It's bad.
And also, along the lines of your offensive line, TJ Watt, he had a brilliant game. A forced fumble, 2 sacks. He had a game like a touchdown saving tackle. You still scored a touchdown, but a touchdown save. No reason an edge rusher should be catching Jalen Hurts down the field like that. But he did. He is just a beast of a person. And the fact that your offensive line was able to, first of all, you didn't have to worry. You only needed one lineman to defend them, which is crazy to me. And you did a good job on its own. You gave Jalen Hurts so much time to make the right decision. But I kind of wanted to propose this back on you. There has been a lot of criticism with Jalen Hurts within the media. A lot of people love him. A lot of people are questionable. When you watch that game, you noticed he made a bunch of passes. He threw for 290 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a great game, but he also had 10 to 15 seconds in the pocket at times. What is your thoughts on being able to read the defense? And do you think he's good, like effective at that? Do you think he'll get better at that? Do you think he's had enough time to already fix the problem? And because it hasn't been fully fixed, does that make you nervous?
So it comes down to, like, I've been very critical with Jalen Hurts, and there's video evidence of that. I think it's, if you're not criticizing your quarterback, then what are you doing? There's obviously room for improvement everywhere. And I think Jalen's problem is at the beginning of the season, he had so many turnovers. It was like 5 or 6 in 4 games. And I think during that bye week, they instilled in him, like, do not turn the ball over. If the read is not there, just try to run out or check it down, or not even do that, just throw it out of bounds. And now I think he's almost scared to throw the ball into a tight window. We didn't see that as much in this game. It was really the past couple weeks. And I think his ability to read a defense, I still don't think is there as sharp as I would love my year 4 starter and quarterback to be. But I definitely think it's something that you can improve on. Like, it's not like his mobility is bad or his arm is bad. Like, his problems that he has as a quarterback are fixable. He can be able to read a defense, get the reads down. And we saw him do a much better job of, yes, he was wasting time in the pocket a little bit and not really getting the ball out as quickly as you would like. But that first drive when the Eagles just fucking went right down the field, like, it was, ball was snapped, it was out, ball snap out. Now, later in the game, it was kind of like he's waiting for routes to develop, and that's something that I think they need to fix, and that's something that won them a football game, essentially.
Yeah, I think looking at it, it felt like Jalen Hurts was playing like easy mode of Madden with our DBs. And I think that very much so strayed off of us missing Deshaun Elliott.
Yeah, 100%.
Deshaun Elliott has been one of the best players on our defense, and he is getting overshadowed, of course, by TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith.
Did you see Saquon take Highsmith for like 4 more yards? Like, Highsmith hopped on his back and he just...
Dude, I wish I could barely see numbers where I was sitting.
Dude,
but
it was so funny. Just Saquon's running, hops on his back, just takes him for 4 more yards.
Oh my gosh. But I did want to get into this conversation about Deshaun Elliott because as you know with the Steelers, dude, we're defined by our defense.
Yeah, dude, and that's even like in the Big Ben days. Like Big Ben, yes, was very good, but it's always been the Steelers' defense.
Our defense wins us games. When you hear the saying defense wins championships, I think the Steelers are next to like
the textbook definition. The Steelers are right next to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if you're describing them with like a verb or a noun, I don't know English like that, but you know, Steelers is that term, the subject, whatever. Yeah. But dude, like dude, press man, get up tight with these players, and our cornerbacks having that capability is because we can rely on our safeties, right? Without Deshaun Elliott dropping in KZ, bringing in Pierre, who I think is not good. I think he is terrible. But I
think he's just not good.
There's no way to put it. And so we played zone the entire time. So when 3rd and 8 rolled around, 3rd and 7 rolled around, and you're not playing press coverage, you're not playing man to man on these receivers, of course an AJ Brown, of course a Devontae Smith is gonna just do a slant route, you know, come out 3 yards, slant in for 2 more yards, get the ball and get the first down. That was going to happen every single time. And I think it's because you're missing a key component with Deshaun Elliott, who, when you can rely on a safety to make the right call, which Minka can make those calls, but there's a whole other side of the field. And with that being said, if you can't rely on your safety, you are going to be playing zone coverage. So we just got abused first down after first down after first down. And you could tell time of possession, the Steelers had 33%. No football team should let their defense be on the field for 67% of the game. And if that happens and you win the game, something went seriously wrong, or you are playing Jameis Winston.
I love Jameis.
There is no reason that the Steelers and the Steelers should be on 67% of the game. As well as when they're on that long, being a defender is so much harder. When you are on offense, you can pick and choose your times to speed up. The defender has to be constantly focused, like with the mind-muscle connection, to be able to adjust quickly to a defender. And if you are constantly on the field, your body's going to get fatigued, and it's going to cause such a problem. So towards the end, especially after that fumble, and our defense having to get on the field immediately, as well as when you had the ball on the 1 yard line and we couldn't make a stop, like those types of things is because we couldn't move the ball on offense, and our defense couldn't make the plays because we're not playing our normal play style.
Yeah. And I think it's such a testament to, you know, there's one thing that the Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni are so good at, and that is clock management. Like, they are able to burn down the clock and beat you down and beat you in the trenches. And now, so looking at that fourth quarter, you go into it, the Eagles score the touchdown. I think it was a tush-push touchdown at the beginning of the fourth.
Yeah, it was right in my face. It sucked.
But when you're the Steelers and it's 4th and 7, Tomlin punts the ball. Obviously, he doesn't get it again. Where were you at? Did you agree with that call? Did you think that he trusted obviously he trusted his defense to get a stop? It never happened, but what was your kind of thought process when Tomlin punted the ball in the fourth there?
I turned, when I tell you I remember the moment, I turned to an Eagles fan next to me and I said, I hope we go for it. And he goes, "You're not going for it." And I saw the punt team come out, and it was just incredibly, I guess, disappointing. It felt like we weren't even trying to win the game. It felt like we gave up. I feel like it felt like we gave up when the fumble happened with Najee Harris.
Yeah, which was egregious.
And once that happened, and once you scored, it was like, well, you know, I don't even know. Like, it just felt like we didn't even want to play the game. It felt like we didn't want to play the game, man.
Yeah.
And then the thing that also sucks, right, is like, yes, it's like, Tomlin, go for it on 4th and 7, but it's 4th and 7. We don't have George Pickens. Our number one receiver is Van Jefferson, and we don't even use the guy we just signed, Mike Williams.
No.
What are we doing, first of all? And then are we going to be able to trust these people? It was just frustrating because you knew it was over, and you never as a fan want to be like, it's fully over, especially on that score line. But for me, I just knew it. And then once we punted the ball away, I think I left. I was like, I can't even.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was, I even said at the time, I'm like, look, if you go for it and you miss it, then it is what it is. But I mean, like, the fact that he didn't even go for it was kind of egregious. Like, I understand that nothing on offense was going right, but at least, like, be like, yo, guys, like, anything could happen. Like, the Eagles converted how many 3rd and 8s during that last drive? Like, it felt like every time they were in 3rd down, they converted. Like, anything could happen. But, kind of looking ahead, the Eagles, they got all division games coming up. They have the Commanders, they have the Giants, the Commanders, Cowboys, and Giants. When you're looking at the Steelers, when you're looking ahead, you got the Ravens next. You don't have the Chiefs, and then you wrap it up against who?
Bengals.
Against the Bengals. And that point, Bengals might be playing for something. They might not be. I mean, we got to talk about Joe Burrow for a second. Like, I know he's in your division, but that guy should be in the MVP conversation. He is so good.
Yeah, man.
I know it hurts you, but like, he's so good.
Yeah, it's Joe Burrow is just phenomenal. I feel so bad for him, how bad his defense is.
Do you fire Zach Taylor if you're the Bengals?
No, I fire the GM.
What is outside of that Super Bowl year? What the hell has Zach Taylor done?
But his team is still putting up monster points. The GM's just not focused. Unless Zach Taylor has a massive say in, which he probably does, but who gets on the team or who they look for in free agency, who they might trade for. They just got to get the defense together. And I don't even want to tell them what to do, but their fans are telling them what to do, and they don't listen. Like, at this point, it's like, get rid of the guy who makes the judgment calls.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know. I just think if Zach Taylor with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, if he was putting up 20 points a game, then yes, look to get rid of him. But right now, for me, it's like, if your defense is just caca.
It's so bad. Like, their defense is so bad.
Like, there's not much you can realistically do just because you don't immediately have the talent.
I mean, you start with the DC. Like, I think they're firing their DC. I think, like, I don't know what you do because T. Higgins, obviously a free agent. You haven't paid Jamar. It's interesting. But it's not to get off track here. When you're looking ahead, kind of to circle back from the original, how are you feeling moving forward after this game? Because it was kind of like a kind of a punch in the teeth kind of game, like kind of a measuring stick game, I feel like.
Yeah, again, I didn't think we were going to win. I came into this game thinking we weren't going to win, especially with the injuries that we had. It's just too high-powered of an offense. But I was happy with the overall performance a little bit. I think we've struggled to get our offense going in the first quarter. So if we can get that figured out, I think we can be a real competitor. And then as long as we can just limit the mistakes, I really thought our offensive line was going to be one of the worst things in the world, but somehow our rookies are playing outstanding. Some of the best offensive line rookie performances in the NFL. Zach Frazier and Mason McCormick. I didn't even know who Mason McCormick was. And then James Daniels goes down. They toss this guy in. I'm like, oh, we're screwed. And this dude is a dog. So the fact that these rookies are able to take on veteran presences, as well as young talent who are monsters in the game, I think Zach Frazier and Mason McCormick allowed zero pressures to your you're like Jalen Carter and
Jalen Carter's so good, dude.
but your guys on
yeah,
the
they
line,
held him. Yeah, they held him.
they held him to zero pressures and all of that thing, which was phenomenal. When I'm looking at it, I just, I want to make the playoffs, and we got that, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing, because I've seen the talent that we've had and I've seen the capabilities we have. Now what I want to do is just stomp on the Ravens. If we beat the Ravens, we clinch our division.
Which I don't think anybody predicted the Steelers winning the division this year.
Yeah, no, I didn't think we were going to get more than 5 wins.
Yeah.
So if we can clinch this division and win at Baltimore, that's going to be absolutely crucial. I think the one thing I'm just more or less excited for, it's not the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. We did make changes. We made, maybe not at the wide receiver room, but we made changes at the QB position. We're not sticking with a Mason Rudolph or a Kenny Pickett or a Duck Hodges.
Eagles legend, Kenny Pickett.
Oh my gosh, I feel bad for you.
Dude, I even texted you watching preseason. I'm like, how the fuck did you watch 2 years of this? This guy stinks.
It was terrible. But like we were doing the same thing, expecting a different result, because we were like, we're gonna get the run game going, but it never panned out. Dude, Russell Wilson in his first 4 games, I believe he had over 30 points. Like, the Steelers had over 30 points for 3 out of 4 of those games. That is something I haven't seen since like Big Ben, maybe 3 years before retirement.
Yeah.
Like, that's been a good bit of time for me. So as a fan, it's just nice to see that we were able to put up these points. And, this game, I expected a result like this to happen. I just wanted to evaluate where the team was at. And I think, we're in a pretty solid position. I did want to talk to you. Well, first of all, I wanted to mention Calvin Austin. I'm going to stand by this fact. Playing against phenomenal DBs, even though we only had 5 receptions, 65 yards, but our offense couldn't get anything going. He was the only person on our offense that I felt did a good job.
Yeah. I mean, it was like obviously the Eagles, statistically, I'm not just saying, have the best defense in the NFL. But yeah, he was he was up against, I think, Slay most of the game. Excuse me. I sneezed like a little bitch. But what you the follow-up question to that, Billy? Go ahead.
Well, yeah, no, I just wanted to say, I thought, I never thought he could do anything, but that man can get open and he can make plays, and he was able to get us in positions where either we could kick a field goal and do those things. So that was phenomenal. But I wanted to ask you about the ref. I felt there was multiple referee inconsistencies.
Yes.
And on both sides.
Yes,
and
1,000%.
I'm not going to be a bias. There's definitely things on the Steelers side that I noticed. One of them being in the stadium that when you watched on TV, you couldn't really tell. Maybe there was a replay that showed it more evidently. But for like things that went against the Steelers, there wasn't a call on AJ Brown making about like a 20-yard catch, a 25-yard catch on 3rd down, where he pushed off on Joey Porter Jr. And that was obvious.
Yeah, it was not even like it was like, I don't know. Like, it was pretty blatant. Like, he pushed off.
Yeah. Like, and you could also tell that Joey Porter Jr. then from that moment couldn't even make an attempt to play the ball. And he had fantastic coverage.
Yeah.
So that was one thing I noticed. The other thing was, again, the punches that were thrown.
That was crazy, the fact that there was no flag on the Eagles for that.
I'm incredibly surprised that didn't happen, but I guess cameras don't work all the time. But then the two that were wild to me was the hit on Justin Fields.
That was such a bad call.
That was a terrible call.
Yeah.
Like, watching that, everybody was screaming, yelling at me. I'm like, I'm not on the
You're
field.
like, I'm on your side, man.
And I'm like, I totally think, like, if you can't like make a play on the quarterback in a situation like that, then this is flag football, man.
Yeah, literally. Like, it it was almost like too perfect of timing because he was about to give himself up, but he was still like diving, but Reed just hit him like perfectly. But I guess it's enough to call it. And now, what was the other one that you said you had to?
The other one, I don't know if I remember the terminology properly, but it was like an illegal block by Devontae Smith as he was running the route.
Oh, the pass interference. It was offensive pass interference.
Yeah,
that was bad.
That was a wicked call in my mind, just because he was like he
was running his route.
He was running the route. Like, it's just a good play call. We were just out of position.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know there's going to be inconsistencies in football.
That's just football.
Yeah, and I also know, like, if somebody misses a call because of a bad camera angle, maybe they might be a little bit more evident to call something. And also, there's not going to be, like, refs aren't going to call everything, or else the game would be 9 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
So they can kind of pick and choose what's the most necessary. But, like, those were very important. From like my standpoint, watching the game, and I think those actually affected how the game was, how like the potential turnout of the games. And so I think they just got to be a little bit more cautious when they make these decisions, and even take a little bit more time to come up with that final decision if you need to wait for more replay assists.
Yeah, 1,000%. Like I think at this point, it's just what the NFL is. It's just a part of the NFL, is the refs being shitty. Unless you're playing against the Chiefs, then every call is going to go in the Chiefs' favor. But that's neither here nor there. But I think it is, you know, when it's on both sides, it's consistently bad. So if I ask for one thing, if you're going to be bad, be consistently bad. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what we saw on Sunday, but we're almost out of time here, Bill. So I'm gonna ask you rapid fire. Okay, you're ready. Are you buckled in?
All right.
What is the Steelers' final record at the end of the year?
Final record.
They're 10-4 right now.
10-4. 3 more games. I think 11-6.
Okay.
I think either we beat the Ravens or we beat the Bengals. I can only hope we beat the Chiefs, but it's the Chiefs.
Well, you might be getting Carson Wentz Chiefs.
I might be getting,
but getting Carson.
It's still the Chiefs. So who knows? I like to set low expectations with the potential of higher results, and I don't know if I set it low enough. So
fair enough.
But at least we made the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. So looking at the playoffs, where do you see the Steelers winning a playoff game this year? Soupy? Thinking soup?
I want to win a game so bad. Every single time we went in the playoffs, we have lost by 30 points recently. It's been terrible. So I just want to win a game. That is like such a demoralizing thing to say. But I think we have a chance this year to make it happen.
Okay.
You know, as long as we can play well.
Moving forward, screw it. Well, the final question. Moving forward, what do you do at the quarterback position? Do you keep Russ? Do you sign Fields? Do you look elsewhere? And you knew this question was coming.
Dude, this is so hard. I would I think I would only sign 1-year deals. And if, you know, we're definitely tight on salary, plus we're already paying them for pennies. So if I was going to go in a certain direction, it would probably be Fields.
Okay, I got you. Now, Bill, there is a guy that the Eagles have that's under contract for a few years. Real up-and-comer guy. Might have small hands, but he can play quarterback. Does he
wear gloves too?
Yeah, he wears 2 actually.
Oh,
crazy
man.
Work.
Well, that's insane.
I mean,
I heard there's small hands in New Jersey. So
yeah. So you're going with Fields long term, or are you looking to draft? You're going with Fields long term.
I think Fields like a one. If I was to do it, I'd say Fields like a 1 or a 2 year deal, with the potential of signing long term depending on performance. I think Russ is just going to be too much money unless he really liked the culture and would take a massive pay cut. Because it seems like he likes playing there. I just I feel like football players are incredibly, money hungry because they don't get paid as much as other sports. NBA,
MLB, Juan Soto just got 15 years, $765 million, which is
it's insane.
And I can never root for Juan Soto again. But anyway, continue.
Well, it's absolutely insane. So I think they definitely want to get their money, and if the price is too high for Russell Wilson, I think going separate ways there is a better call. Because in the end of the day, we definitely are in some form of a rebuild.
Yeah.
We have very young talent, and we're gonna need to get, a wide receiver. I want to get a wide receiver in the draft because the talent right now is phenomenal for college and people up and coming. So I'd want to try and find someone in a draft, build around it, I'd personally want to give Justin Fields a little bit of, like people to work with and be able to show off his true potential. And if it works out, it works out. If not, we look in a different direction. That's my thought.
There you go.
What about the Eagles? What's your thoughts? Super Bowl?
It's Super Bowl or bust. I think they are the best team in the NFL. I think on all facets, I think their offense, when they're playing like that, when the pass game is going, that it is just electric to see, and it just opens up everything else. And obviously with Saquon Barkley, and then in the defense, their D line is incredible. Nolan Smith has stepped up incredibly. Zach Bond is amazing. The Kobe Dean is amazing. Quinyon and Cooper DeJean. The secondary, the exciting whites, the blizzard playing out of their minds. But I think 100% it's Super Bowl or bust for the Philadelphia Eagles as of December 16th, 2024.
And then 30 seconds. Why should Saquon win MVP?
I don't think he is going to. I think Josh Allen last night kind of sealed that deal. But if I'm going for it, I think the MVP is the most valuable player on a team, and the Eagles without Saquon Barkley are not good. Well, they are, but they're not as good. They're not as valuable as that player adds to them. So I think Saquon should win the MVP, and it'd be cool for a running back to win it, and it's not the QB award. But Josh Allen is 100% going to win it.
Yeah, after the last 2 weeks, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, Bill, this has been great. I appreciate you taking the time. It's been a pleasure having you. Any final words for the people out there?
This was fantastic, Jared. I was happy to be a part of it, and I appreciate you reaching out and asking if I could come on.
100%.
And if you ever want somebody to talk about football and maybe yell at the Steelers a little bit, I am happy to do that.
Bill's on. Now we're gonna cut back to me and Owen doing some stupid shit. And yeah, Billy, thank you again, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that was our more specifically my conversation with Billy. You weren't fucking there for anything.
Sorry, dude.
Anything. Now,
sorry, dude.
Now we're gonna get into some fun stuff. So now we're gonna call my wife, and we're gonna have her rank stuff. Chad's MIA, so therefore we're going over to her. And let's see if she answers. So we're going to have her rank some Christmas cookies.
Do you have your cookies?
Maybe. I swear to God, if she doesn't answer, this is going to be embarrassing. It's always a gamble on these, if she's going to answer or not. I don't think she's going to answer.
Your call has been.
All right. Well, all right. So we'll save that. Is Liam available?
I think it's after.
Huh?
It's 5:40. 5:40.
All right. What are we gonna have him name? Random Phil. Random Philly. Okay.
Love it.
Okay.
What's up, Jared?
Hi, Liam. You're live on the 52 Reasons podcast. How are you, buddy?
Hi, Liam.
Hey, bud, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. Liam, can you name a random Philly for us?
Random Philly, former or current?
Yeah, just Philly. Just anybody who comes to mind.
Jimmy Rollins.
Jimmy Rollins. Okay, thank you, Liam. I love you.
Love you, bud.
Bye. What a great...
Who the fuck is Jimmy Rollins?
Yeah, I've never heard of that guy. It's not the all-time hits leader or anything like that. Jimmy Rollins.
I thought the all-time hits leader was Whitney Houston.
I hate you.
Sorry.
Is this what John has to deal with? Like, oh, God. I get why he hates me. Yeah, secretly, John and I hate each other.
I know.
There's no love at all.
It's not like you guys FaceTime secretly at work today.
No, dude. No. We never think of doing anything like that.
Johnny misses you so much.
I miss you so much, John. Please come home. I'm lost without you. But now. Oh, and this is usually the part of the show where John gives me a quote, and I have to guess it.
Okay.
Or I give John a draft class. Now, lucky for you, as the special guest on today's episode, you get to do both.
Woo!
I get a week off. I get to be the asshole for once. So which
Awesome.
one would you rather start with, a draft class or a quote?
Dealer's choice.
So which one would you rather start with, Owen? A draft class or a quote?
I will tell you once more, dealer's choice. I'm just a guest on the
You
show.
fucking pick one, you prick.
Give me that one.
You're going to get a draft class, you fucking jackass. So he's going to guess a draft class. I'm going to... let's go with this one.
Fair warning, this is not my special tie.
Which maybe John did this one. I don't know. I kind of stopped. Oh, they didn't have a lot of picks in this one at all. Okay, so round 1, pick 22. They took a tackle. Round 2, pick 53. They took a running back. Round 2, pick 57. They took a wide receiver. Round 4. Oh, Ashlyn's calling.
Okay, perfect.
Hi, Ashlyn.
Hi.
You're live on the podcast right now. How are you, my love?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm in the bathroom with Charlotte.
Well, can you rank these things for me real quick?
I guess.
All right. So you're gonna rank some Christmas cookies, okay?
Okay.
I gotta pull them up real quick. Give me just 1 second. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
So I'm gonna list them all to you, and then you rank them 1 through 5. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So we got chocolate chip, peanut butter, snickerdoodle, gingerbread, and the saltine Heath bar cookies.
I'll probably go 1 chocolate chip.
Okay. All right.
2 the saltine Heath bar. 3 snickerdoodle.
Okay.
What were the other 2?
Gingerbread and peanut butter.
Okay, 4 gingerbread, 5 peanut butter.
Okay.
To me, peanut butter wouldn't even be on the list.
Well, it's my show, damn it.
Our show.
I wish peanut butter didn't even have to be number 5. But
Damn, peanut butter would be like -0 to you.
She's not even allergic.
Yeah.
No, she's not. Do you want to say hi to Owen?
hi.
Hi, Ashlyn. I'm sitting in Jared's chair.
He is sitting in my chair. He feels very honored. All right, well, I'll let you get back to work. Thank you for participating in the show. I love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
That's my wife, everybody. I knew she was going to go with chocolate one.
Thank you.
The saltine Heath bar.
I think she nailed it.
She did. She nailed it. That's the correct
That was
list.
my perfect.
That is correct. Dude, the
perfect
saltine
list.
Heath bars, so good.
Not enough of them in my life.
There's not, dude.
I need more of them.
So good. Anyway, so let me go back to the draft. So round 1, pick 22. They took a tackle.
And now, what year was this? You said
you got to guess that one, you jack. You almost got me there. You nearly got me. Round 2, pick 53. They took a running back. Round 2, pick 57. They took a wide receiver. Round 4, pick 138. They took a DE. And then round 5, pick 167. They took a quarterback. You can ask me questions.
Is the first pick the tackle? Is he still on the team?
No, but he is still in the NFL.
Is this 2011?
No. It is not.
How many guesses do how
You
does
can
this
go like
end?
2 guesses.
Okay,
You can ask
I was
me
gonna
like
say-
2 more questions.
I was
There
gonna
you
say,
go.
I think it's is the running back
Mhm.
still in the NFL?
He is.
Is he an Eagle?
Not anymore.
Is it Miles Sanders?
You would be correct. That is Miles Sanders.
What?
I don't know. You tell me.
I'm trying to figure that out. I'm trying to do some math in my head here.
Okay.
2017,
No.
16,
Nope.
14,
Nope.
15.
Nope.
Already guess 11.
Yep.
It's not
You're
that.
going the wrong fucking way, pal.
18?
Mm,
19?
there you go.
Holy shit. We drafted him in 2019?
We did.
God, I'm so off.
So that first round, pick 22.
Was it Landon?
No. Landon
That-
Dickerson was a second round pick.
Okay.
Andre Dillard. He was a bust on all busts. Not even just Stoutland could fix
So
that
I
guy.
thought it was maybe Sayamalu.
No,
was
but
when you said it's still in the NFL.
what player? There's a reason Andre Dillard is not on that team anymore. What player took his job?
Is it a
It is Mr. Jordan.
Dreaming
of a white Christmas. That is correct. Mr. Jordan Mailata took his job. Ain't Dicker did. Round 2, pick 57. My favorite player of all time. Go ahead.
What?
Who is my favorite Eagle of all time?
Oh, favorite Eagle. Round 2 of that pick?
Mhm.
Of that? Miles Sanders?
No.
Oh,
Well, they had
he's-
2 second round picks.
Oh,
My favorite Eagle ever. You can say it out loud.
it's not Riley Cooper.
Oh, God.
That's what
Jesus
yeah.
fucking Christ,
I
no.
was going to say.
2019, Owen.
I'm so confused. I don't know. Who is it?
JJ Arcega-Whiteside.
Oh.
Do you know
okay.
nothing about me?
I thought he was a first round pick for some reason.
Oh, no. No, that was Jalen Reagor.
Yeah. I've been fooled one too many times with
round
that kind of
4
nonsense.
Round 4, pick 138. They took Sharif Miller.
That's nothing.
And then Clayton Thorson was the QB in that draft.
Clayton Thorson.
Clayton
Sounds like
Thorson.
a lacrosse player.
Yeah. So how do you feel about it after that game?
After
the draft game that we just did.
I'm honestly impressed that I figured out it was Miles Sanders.
Mhm.
And wish I had figured out it was Andre Dillard. Done some
Yeah,
more
bust on all
mathematical.
busts.
Also, did not realize that Miles Sanders was 5 years ago.
He was. What do you think of that picture right there? Do you think I'm going to say anything?
I don't know.
So-
I think you're just gonna ask for water.
Yeah. So now we're going to move on to where John usually gives me a quote and I have to guess it. So with this game, Owen, I'm sure you're familiar because you watch every episode. You get 3 guesses, but you also can ask me 3 questions
Of who said?
of who said the quote. Okay?
All right.
Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay.
Does this count as a question? What is the quote?
Give me one sec. Okay, are you ready?
Fire away.
If the team's winning, I'm going to do whatever I can to help the team, whether that's from the third string role, backup, starter, doesn't matter. I'm going to do what I can to prepare and help the team.
Is this man currently in the NFL?
He is in the NFL.
Is this man currently playing for the Kansas City Chiefs?
He currently is playing for the Kansas
Is
City.
this man currently an AO1 man?
He is currently an AO1.
Is this guy Carson Wayne?
You're goddamn right it is. I was giving you a softball. Because I wanted to transition to Carson can do the funniest thing ever. The funniest thing ever. And I will be right. Was it that obvious for Carson?
He said that when he was on the Eagles, no?
I don't fucking know when he said it.
I'm pretty sure he said it when he was on the Eagles, when he was getting benched for Jalen.
Jalen, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, but you were,
I
there was
was-
no doubt in your mind.
No, that's totally something Carson Wentz would say. Hey, I'm just here. Whatever they want me to do, I'm gonna do. Be the
So
best person to
I
do
could
it.
have been such a dick and given you like something that John gives me where it goes, I like football. Who said it? Gee, Fucking could be anybody.
John Madden, who's going to be played by Nicolas Cage
He
in
is
this
gonna be
upcoming
played by
movie.
Nick Cage. Who just got casted out? I just showed it to you.
Nicolas Cage.
No. It was fuck, I gotta look it up. Talk about Carson Wentz.
Yeah. Thought he was the prodigy. Thought he was the future.
Christian Bale. It was Christian Bale.
Oh, as Goodell?
I don't know
Was
of
it
who.
He was something.
Maybe.
No. Davis.
Yes.
Mark Davis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz. I never have wished ill intent or anything
No.
bad on Carson Wentz. He
No,
was
I love
great, and there are so many little motherfuckers running around South Jersey
Named
and Philadelphia named
Yeah,
Carson.
you're from South Philly.
Let's not get into that
He's
right
from
now.
South Philadelphia.
I'm really not, though.
He looks exactly like somebody from South Philadelphia. But anyway, South Philly guy. He has the chance to do something so funny.
And it would be great.
For my personal agenda, I need it to happen.
If it's not going to be the Birds, I will say I don't want the Chiefs to win again because I'm getting sick of it.
But if it's the Carson Wentz-led Chiefs,
Fine.
all in, I'll be
in.
proven right. Now, the reason I brought up Carson Wentz is not only to talk about that point, but we are playing his former team this week. Owen, and who would that be?
That would be the Washington Commanders.
That would be commanding pain in my ass. Yeah. However, Jaden Daniels has done wonders for me in fantasy.
That's true.
Done wonders. How you feeling?
I'm not worried about them or really any other team. It's usually a home game when we go down to where is Landover, Maryland,
or hell for all I care.
Yeah, it's close enough. I think they'll be fine. I feel like I don't know. I don't want to jinx anything, but this is the last one of the season that seems to be
a challenge.
Potentially a challenge. Yeah.
I mean, the Cowboys are playing better of late.
Yeah,
but
they're still coming to us, and
that stadium's going to be packed.
It's Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush. Yeah. Which, do you know? You want to hear something funny?
I would love to hear.
He has better stats than Dak Prescott in the same sample size. Huh. Dak Prescott, the highest paid quarterback
I was going to say, Dak's getting paid this, and
for the
Cooper's getting paid this?
Same production?
That doesn't make sense.
Thank you, Jerry Jones.
You're doing a great job, Jerry. Keep it up, buddy.
And
Keep it up.
Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy. Let's give him a round of applause. This freaking guy.
Good job. But yeah, I mean, the Commanders, you have Zach Ertz is probably not going to be in this game. He suffered a concussion. Austin Eckler is still banged up. We are going to see Marshawn Lattimore in the secondary.
We didn't see him last time.
We did not see him last time. But again, I'm not.
Nothing
not
too concerning.
I'm really not. I think this defense is too good. They have film on Jaden. They know how he kind of operates, and you're without Zach Ertz, who was kind of the biggest threat to us in the last game.
He was the best player on the best player on the field.
Terry McLaurin is going to be wrapped up against Quinyon Mitchell, so I'm not exactly concerned. And I don't know who the hell else they have on offense. Is Brian Robinson still hurt? I think he is.
I don't know, actually.
Maybe he's banged up, but again, I think
it wouldn't make too much of a difference.
It boils down to, Owen, the Eagles are just the better team. Yeah. It's just, that's what it is.
Top to bottom.
Famous last words before they fucking choke it this weekend. So, yeah, do you realize that if they lose against the Commanders, you're no longer allowed on this podcast?
Absolutely.
Then the rules. John and I talked about it. John wanted to kill you, and I said, no. Let's just
give me the Facebook leads for the rest
of
the
year. Give me the Facebooks.
Give me the Facebooks.
But, Owen, final thoughts.
Going into Washington?
Just in general.
I don't know. Birds are hot. Sirianni's got the boys playing out there wazoos. Appreciate you having me on the pod.
Absolutely. Thank you for filling in.
And hopefully this isn't the last time that I'm featured, whether it's in person or on the phone.
Hey, listen, we'll figure it out. It's a lot hinging on this.
I think we'll be fine.
Oh, and you did a great job, buddy. You did a great job filling in. I appreciate that. Yes, yeah.
Appreciate you having me on.
But yeah, I'm not worried. We're gonna be fine. Now to get some programming stuff out of the way. So next week's episode of this podcast will be recorded on Monday. As of right now, This is subject to change. I don't know why the fuck I'm looking at you.
Yeah, don't look at me.
This is subject to change. Maybe I'm getting ideas. I'll talk to you after. There's as of right now, it is going to be a Zoom episode because scheduling stuff with Ashlyn and her job is not going to allow us to be where we need to be. So if that persists, it will be over Zoom. And if it is, we will figure it out. But as of right now, it is over Zoom. And that episode will be releasing Monday of next week. So you'll be getting it a day early because obviously Tuesday is Christmas. So we will not be recording on or Christmas Eve, excuse me. Christmas Eve. We will not be recording on our normal day. And then that following week, I mean, John will be back next week as of following from here on out. And then that following week, it will also be on Monday. But that one will be in person. That episode will be as normal, but it still will be on a Monday. So just keep an eye out for that with scheduling stuff. I promise you, I know what I'm doing. I know it's a lot of confusion, but I promise you everything will be fine. It's just the holidays and all those sorts of craziness. But any final thoughts, Owen?
Not much. Go Birds.
Go Birds. Hit them with 5-2.